Hello friends, welcome to my channel once again. Today we are going to start chapter 2, Era of One Party Dominance. This chapter is from Political Science class 12. Okay, previously in the previous video I have already explained chapter 1. So today let us begin with chapter 2. Okay, I am Francis Basumatri. I am presenting you the chapter 2 of Political Science class 12, Era of One Party Dominance. Alright, so let us begin. Okay, yes, so era of one party dominance. Before that we need to know when did India got its independence and what happened after that. Okay, and what are the main challenges of that new government or new India at that time. So after independence we all know there was both independence and partition, as I have already mentioned in the previous chapter. All right, so after that the British had asked the interim government to form the government under and rule the country, the new country. All right, so under the leadership of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the interim government was formed. Okay, and that government had new challenges, or the new country had a very new challenges. Mainly we can divide it into three. All right, so first was to unite a society. All right, so how to bring this society united? It was already partition was there already between the Hindus and the Muslims based on religion. There was lots of discrimination, there were lots of disunity at that time already because of partition. Okay, so how to bring all these diversified groups together, or not only these two groups, or there are many different tribes, different religious groups, different people belong to different social class. All these people were already into different segments of the society. So it was a challenge for the new interim government to bring them together as a whole. All right, and the second was to establish a democratic country or democracy. All right, so in previously before India's independence also democracy existed, but it was always in a developed country. All right, but in a new and illiterate country or underdeveloped country like India at that moment, it was very risky or sort of challenging. All right, so in the previous before independence, many countries already experienced democracy, but in the long run it turned out to be autocratic, or some started to become a one party rule or military rule. So this was a little bit of scary time for the new government to take these steps. However, our Indian leaders did not hesitate to establish democracy. They were committed to work for parliamentary form of democracy. All right, and the third challenge was to bring all the sections of society together, everyone together. All right, for the development of all sections of the society, they wanted to bring every sections of the society together. Now, to bring development for all sections of the society in a democratic country like India, there should be some rules or some rule book or some prescribed rule for everyone. Okay, so for the execution of democracy, constitution should be framed first of all. All right, so under the leadership of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar in the year 1950, not only 1950, it came into effect 1950. Constitution came into effect on 1950 26 January. All right, but before that, from 1947 on 50 onwards, they have been working. All right, so they have to frame the constitution, a rule book for everyone in the country. All right, so according to the constitution, election commission was also set up in the year 1950 to run the country. How? Because to run the country we need what? The parliament. It is a parliamentary form of government, so we need the government to run the country, and for that election should be there. All right, so to conduct election commission was established in the 1950, and Sukumar Sen was the first election commissioner of India. All right, so for now, since the election commission was already established, now the work of the election commission started. All right, so under the leadership of Sukumar Sen, the first draft, or what is the roles, the list of the people or the voters were taken, but actually even though it was taken, 40 lakhs women were already excluded. All right. So the commissioner or election commissioner already again asked that data should be again recollected. All right. So, and we know second, because it was a illiterate country, very few people were literate. All right. So because of that, the officers should also were also trained. All right. So a total of 3 lakhs polling officers were trained to conduct the election, because it was first time election and many people did not know how to do the voting or what is the process to be taken for voting. So the government had lots of problems, or lots of challenges that to be taken by the government. All right. So the challenges mainly were like since there was no systematic roles or list of the voters, it was very difficult for them. All right. And secondly, female voters were excluded from the voters list, so it was a problem for them also again. And a majority of the voters were illiterate, as mentioned already earlier. I told that voters were already, most of the voters, here it is mentioned that only 15% were literate. That means already 85% were illiterate. Okay, so I have given the number here, you can check it out. Means only 17 out of 17 crore voters, only 14 crores were 14 crores were illiterate out of 17 crores. All right. So you think how many people were illiterate at that time. All right. However, the first general election was it was a test on democracy, or on a democratic country like India, because India was a very underdeveloped country, or so to say illiterate people were there at that time. All right. So it was very challenging for election commission to conduct these elections. All right. Okay. It is because of all those reasons which I have mentioned earlier. Because of all those reasons, election had to be postponed again and again. All right. However, from October 1951 till February 1952, election activities have already started. However, it was called general election of 1952 because most of the activities, the voting, the counting, everything was taken in the year 1952. All right. Okay. So after that, the election that was conducted then was a big success. All right. More than half of the voters turned out there. Okay. So this election of 1952 in India proved that democracy can be practiced everywhere in the world, even though people are illiterate, even though people are not developed, or the country is new. Then also democracy can be practiced. All right. So let us see the results here of 1952 election. Okay. So results of 1952 elections. Okay. You can see the bar graph here. The green one on the left, extreme left, is very high or tall. You can say 364 seats out of 489 seats. That is won by Congress. All right. The Communist Party won 16 votes in few regions of the country, in Kerala and other places. All right. And other seats were divided among different parties. All right. And yes. Before coming to the fourth point, let me tell you that, along with the general election, most of the places, state elections were also held. All right. But in everywhere, Congress won more than 3/4 of the seats. If there are 3/4 of total seats, Congress won in every states. But in the states of Kerala, Madras, and Odisha, Congress did not win. All right. They failed to win in those states. Okay. There are lots of controversies with regard to Kerala also. Okay. So when we see this map, for the past 15 years, you can see the yellow color is a Congress dominant country. All right. Congress dominant states. Okay. So these are the states that were dominated by the Congress from 1952 to 1967. You can see the picture in the book also. It has been nicely depicted there. All right. So we can say that even though Congress dominated, this dominance was true democracy. All right. It was not a dominance like other countries. All right. Like China, Cuba, South Korea. Okay. It was true democracy. And India's one-party dominance was almost similar to that of Africa's National Congress. All right. Same like National Congress of Africa is same like Indian Congress. All right. So these are the this. Now let us see the reasons for dominance of Congress. How could they dominate so many places? All right, so many states. So the first reason is because Congress had a legacy of freedom struggle movement. So since freedom struggle, many people have already come to know the Congress leaders, those who were fighting for the freedom. All right, and they got more, I mean, energy or momentum, you can say, from the people from independence itself. All right, and this Congress party was inclusive in nature. It could accommodate all types of or all sections of society, all sections of people, like maybe of any religion, of any ideology, of any group, any caste, gender, everywhere. They could include everyone in the party. All right, so it was very inclusive. That is the reason many people liked it. All right, and it was a well stratified party. In every rural place they have already arranged everything. All right, so because of this reason, Congress was dominating in majority of the regions. Okay, in the book we can see Congress as a social and ideological coalition. What do you understand by this? Okay, so if we see the statement here, social and ideological coalition means different social groups and people from different ideological groups were also present there. All right, so Congress was a party of upper class, middle class, lower class, urban class, urban elite, villagers. Everyone was welcome into that party. Okay, every social group was welcome. Okay, and it was like a rainbow, like when we see a rainbow, different colors, so different groups were there. It was a social coalition, and it was a platform for numerous new or small groups of the society. All right, so many groups were there at the time, so they got chance into the Congress because they accepted them also. All right. However, you can see ideological coalition also here. Many have different ideological perspective. However, their perspective or their ideology were also welcome. But in the long run, many got separated and they formed new party. All right, because of their ideological indifferences. Okay. All right, you got my point? Yeah. So now, if we see, I have already explained it. There was ideological indifference. All right, and they got separated. But amongst the group, there were lots of factions. All right, there were lots of factions that were in the Congress party. All right, now, but who are those factions? It is a group with different ideologies within the party. Here, party, it refers to Congress party. All right, so there were lots of different groups or people with different ideologies. These are called factions. And how could Congress manage these factions? Now let us study one by one. All right, so I have already mentioned it could accommodate all different types of people. Now, first thing is because the Congress party leaders were very strong and convincing. They were very firm. All right, because of this reason, they could manage these factions. All right, and Congress party was a grand centrist party. What do you understand the grand centrist party? It was a party where all groups were all party were included. It means like even the opposition was also a part of that party, because like see, there are many small groups, and if they saw that government or the Congress party is not doing that good, they were playing the role of the opposition party within the party itself. All right, so in that group, in that Congress party itself, there were many factions. Okay, so they were playing the role of the opposition party there, because if the Congress party is not doing something good, they can point out the finger. So like that only, it was a grand centrist party for everywhere. So since even opposition's role was also played by them in the party itself, it was called the Congress system, because the whole system was under the Congress. Okay, because of this. Okay, understood. So now if we see this picture also, we can see the opposition party trying to pull out the roots of the tree from the ruling party, but it is not possible to uproot the tree like that. All right, so this is what is showing in the cartoon here. You can see and read it. All right, now Congress has been ruling since India from 1952 onwards. Okay, so for 15 years they have been ruling. So it wasn't from from interim government itself. They have been ruling and ruling. Okay, so now at that time, were there any opposition party to oppose Congress party, yes, there were, but they were very small in numbers. All right, and Congress party actually previously, I mean, when India was newly independent, the opposition party was also part of the ruling party, so to say, like that. Because see, if their ideologies were matching, they would welcome the ruling party would welcome the opposition party to come and work with them. Because you can see example like here, no, Dr. Ambedkar, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Jaya Prakash Narayan, they were all non-Congress leaders. All right, so even though they were not Congress leaders, they were invited in the government to rule the country along with the Congress party. All right, but no, this existed only little few years later. I mean, after later years, it got into different ideologies. No, they didn't. I mean, if in today's election, you can see in today's political scenario, you can see that opposition is different, ruling party is different. If opposition does even something good, ruling party will never accept it. Even if ruling party does something good, opposition will not accept this. So this is what is going on in today's politics. But initially it was not like that. If something good is done, it was appreciated. All right, okay. So however, Congress could rule only till certain time, but later on, no, opposition also grew stronger and more in number. And in today's political scenario, we can see both. I mean, more or less equal, and no single party can rule the country. I mean, with one single majority, they have to form alliance to form the country. More or less, we can see nowadays this. Okay, so this is it. So the era of one party dominance of Congress lasted only till that period of time. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you. Please do like and share that video. If you like it, please tell to your friends, share with your friends, and all the best.